Hi everyone, Jessica Morales joining you now with Velda Addison. She's a senior editor of Heart Energy's digital news group. Thanks for joining us, Velda.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about E&P trends in 2019. A lot to discuss here, but really let's start with the shale efficiency gains. What did you see there?
Well, that's been a continued trend that we've been seeing from oil and gas companies and shale plays. They've been doing a lot in the area of improving efficiency, especially in drilling and completions. So oil and gas companies working with oil field service companies, they've been reducing the number of days it takes to drill a well. They've been using more zipper fracs, and they've been cutting down on non-productive time.
Mm-hmm. And what does that really mean for oil and gas companies that have been really struggling to grow profits, though?
Well, it means that they are cutting their well costs, and that's a good thing. And it also means that they are using less rigs. So they're able to drill more wells with fewer rigs, and that cuts down on costs. And they're also able to produce more oil and gas should they choose to do so. And analysts at Velda Energy recently discussed some of the D&C trends that we've been seeing, particularly in shale plays like the Permian Basin and Eagle Ford and Marcellus. And they noted some areas where oil and gas companies have been doing a pretty good job at improving some of these efficiencies. If we want to look at some of those that Rystad pointed out, there was a 22% improvement in the number of drilling days per 1,000 feet in the Permian's Midland Subbasin, and there was also a 22% in the Marcellus as well. And as far as zipper frac penetrations, there was a 31% improvement seen in the Permian's Delaware Subbasin.
Okay. Looks like progress, of course, there, that noted there as well. Let's talk about attention on ESG. You know, that focus has been ever growing, a lot of discussion this year as well.
Yes, there's been more focus on environmental, social, and governance, and more sustainable business practices. And this has put the spotlight more on flaring, particularly in the Permian Basin. It's been a big problem there. And again, analysts at Rystad studied this and found that in the third quarter, flaring and venting of natural gas actually reached a new all-time high for the Permian Basin.
Oh, wow.
It jumped to an average of more than 750 million cubic feet per day in the third quarter.
So that is definitely something they've seen a jump in. What has been happening offshore, if you will?
Well, the offshore sector continues to rebound, and oil and gas companies have been bringing down their break-evens, and a key to their success has been utilizing existing infrastructure and subsea tiebacks, which makes their offshore projects more economic. Companies have also been carrying out infrastructure-led exploration programs that's essentially exploring near where they've already found oil and gas and using seismic data. In Hess Corporation, for example, they made a discovery with their Esox-1 well in the U.S. Gulf of Mexico earlier this year, and that's located near the Tubular Bells facility.
Velda, what about production? How is that going?
Well, production in the Gulf of Mexico is increasing too, and that's also good news. The U.S. Energy Information Administration is forecasting that oil production could hit a new record for the Gulf of Mexico this year.
Okay.
So it could hit an average of 1.9 million barrels per day this year.
Oh, wow.
And it could rise to 2 million barrels per day next year. And this is up from 1.8 million barrels in 2018.
So that is something positive to look at. Of course, there's a balance of, we have to try to balance it all, but definitely some positives there in the E&P trends.
Exactly. And the EIA also said that by the end of the year, 8 new deep water projects would have started up, and
wow.
Next year we're looking to see at least 4 more.
Okay, we'll be watching that. Thank you so much for your time, Velda.
You're welcome.
And for Heart Energy, I'm Jessica Morales.
For more Heart Energy videos, follow our social media channels.